Hi guys, this is Deni, as always. You know, the first half of January has been unrealistically low on new games. It's understandable, it's New Year's Eve, everyone had New Year's holidays, and no one really needed new games. But the second half and the beginning of February started with a huge bomb in the industry. It banged so that it squeezed even Counter-Strike and Dota 2. In general, today we will look at all the latest. Click on the like, click on subscribe if you are not subscribed yet, and actually, let's go. Do you miss adrenaline and dynamic gameplay? The perfect place to get it all? Good old Crossout. Tense battles, dozens of different vehicles, and hundreds of parts for their customization are waiting for you. You can make a powerful, bulletproof tank and destroy your enemies just by the look of it. Or make something smaller, but fast, and get in the back of unsuspecting enemies. In any case, Crossout is the best place to show everyone who is a real pro. Download the game at the link in the description. Let's start with the masterpiece, which simply broke the charts of Steam, reaching the mark of 2 million online in Steam. Naturally, Palworld, the game which became the first, and I won't be surprised if the biggest release for this year. Nobody expected such a thing, including the developers themselves. If anyone does not know, this is in fact the most adequate game about catching Pokemon, which is on the PC. You are waiting for the construction of the base, a huge world, and more than 100 different Palworld, which you can catch. All of them are pumped, improved, crossed with each other, and even two seemingly identical pals can be very different from each other. And the fact that the developers promised to add a PvP arena brings the game to a whole new level because it will greatly fuel the interest of players for years to come. And here in front of you is New Cycle, a game that is, well, very similar to Frostpunk. The only thing is that there is no frost. Instead of it, there is an apocalypse, thanks to solar flares, so we have to build a city and restore human goods. Overall, the game is quite interesting, even challenging. You have to constantly toss workers back and forth between buildings. The gameplay is meditative and addictive, the graphics are nice, the music, by the way, also popped. The cool thing is that there are so many resources that you constantly have to keep an eye on. If you're a fan of city building simulators, it's worth a try, but still keep in mind that this is early access. So there are some things that are annoying. For example, the infuriating global map exploration, where every 4 to 5 minutes you have to click on the next template notification. Eventually you'll just get tired of dealing with this junk. If you are a fan of Chinese but nothing has suited you for a long time, you can take a look at this marvel. The game is an action RPG in isometry, but where you run on the Ways D keys, like in VR Rising in general. 3 weapons, sword, spear, and bow. There is a character progression where you can improve or unlock new skills for all 3 weapons of your choice. Items are naturally also a lot. Well, no one forbids you to craft everything. Well, and the combat all looks pretty cool. Among the cool features, you can fight directly from the horse, not like in Diablo, where you had to get off it all the time. Games like Vampire Survivors are still coming out a lot, and here is another representative of the genre, Artifact Seeker. But so far, it's only a prologue. Visually, it really looks much prettier, so it can drag on longer. From the funny moments in the game, extremely much created neural network. Even the local lady is made by it. Well, the gameplay itself, there are many variations of build and different pumping. There is even a lore of any kind. In general, to kill time, it's the best. If you want something a little more lame, but no less action-packed, welcome to the pixelated, but really very lame Momodora, Moonlit Farewell. A great entertaining platformer awaits you, and a little bit of Metroidvania. Music and visuals are absolutely on the top. Here from time to time, the developers make you happy, the plot in turn without kinks, simple and cute story. Well, in gameplay in general, everything is as standard as possible. Running around the world, trying to understand what is happening on the screen, experience pain from bosses sometimes, and sometimes enjoy the way they are drawn. In general, good. The only thing is that it's a bit short, really pass in a couple of evenings. then this platformer is already much prettier, and the game itself is not standard. You know the Jungle Book? And what if we take everything happening in it to the world of post-apocalypse? That's exactly where you will find yourself here. Visually, the game is just great. You can put a lot of backgrounds on your desktop. The eye is very pleasant to observe the overgrown beauty of the post-apocalyptic world. Dummies flying, some aspiring, and so good. The main quest to run all levels from beginning to end with a little parkour and different stories, and each of them will tell their part of the history of mankind. The game feels very cool, only parkour sometimes crooked, and so very cool. The age of auto-butlers has sort of passed. It is true and began to start that did not have time, but nevertheless. However, the developers of The Last Flame do not think so. So they released their own, and made it, by the way, more than not bad. Especially in terms of building builds, because this is the basis of everything in such games. Who suddenly does not know what is auto-butler, I will briefly explain. Your quest to assemble a team of different fighters, place them in the arena according to your idea, and start the battle. Well, and see what comes out of it. You're upset by the same kind of people, or bots. And the heroes fight automatically. That's why he's an auto-battler. So here, you are waiting for 55 heroes, 300 different items, 120 relics, and 55 team skills. How many of all these things can be collected combinations, and I cannot count. So, the depth of the game is not bad. And this is what I was waiting for personally, even before the moment when Pokemon fired. It's Enshrouded, basically a brand new survival game about cool adventures. Here, everything is clear in detail, crafting, building, all this is at the highest level, a great replacement for Valheim. Pleased with the branch of skills you can be and hit and mage and tank. That is, everyone will find what he likes. The only thing is that many people scold the game a bit for optimization, but I did not notice any strong joints. The same Palworld sometimes works much worse, and the depth of development here is much more than just catch all the Pokemon, and that's it. And the enemies here are quite dangerous, sharp, and in addition diverse. In general, it's a very cool thing for co-op adventures. The Universim was released the other day. This who suddenly does not know, the most real simulator of God, and he is here with the ability to plan a sprawling settlement, use supernatural powers, conduct scientific research, and punish non-believers, throwing them into the ocean. It's fun. All in all, watching the little people, and especially reading their minds, is quite entertaining, at least for the first few hours. Though even in the primitive Stone Age where the game begins, they have tons of needs. Especially carefully approach to water reservoirs and food storage for the winter, because most buildings without water stupidly does not work, and your wards want to eat always. Of course, you should also have stress-relieving facilities, such as massage parlors and barbershops, yes, in the Stone Age, because the sad characters sink into depression and die out. Mindless consumption and rapid development of civilization leads to rapid depletion of natural resources, because they are not infinite. In general, powerful. In general, Diablo 4 was released a long time ago. I passed it and safely forgot about it even. But good, the developers decided not to make a complete mud, and made the first more or less normal update, and with it, a new season. It's called Season of Construct. From the innovations, you will be able to collect your seasonal companion, which will help in battle. You will have to fight new demons, survive, and finally look at the ratings. Naturally, there's a new battle pass and a bunch of other stuff. Otherwise, the same Diablo, which will now change every 3 months thanks to new seasonal mechanics. All in all, the game is cool. Well, and finally, there's something to do in endgame content. There are probably a million different war games, but there are only a few of them about military hospitals, and here's a new one, War Hospital, where you will be in charge of a field hospital in the midst of the First World War, but there are two things, one positive and one negative. Let's start with the good. The setting and moral choices, again the gameplay is unique. Your main quest is to determine the fate of cured patients, send them back to the front, to headquarters, or release them from service. It would seem a huge scope for moral choices, dilemma dilemmas and compromises. But from here comes the downside. You simply have a choice between getting a military resource, getting a bureaucratic resource, or boosting morale a bit. That is, there is no depth of development. Gameplay in general railroaded and I would say underdeveloped. That's why the reviews are mixed. But again, the idea itself is not bad. And so for today, we are done with you. I hope you found something top for yourself and therefore clicked on the like and subscribe too. Well with you was as always Deni, and have a nice day.